maybe some curse words at that end.
There was no maybe. No, it was full-blown
celebration
yes
of beating them in Cameron to win the ACC. So very good memories from the 11-12 team. A few guys, of course, that headlined it. Harrison Barnes, who, it's weird, like, when you look at the statistics from that year, and you still kind of, he still wasn't what we thought he was going to be. I mean,
the hype around that kid.
Number one recruit in the nation. Like, we were literally told that this was like the next LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, this kid was that good.
I just remember leaving your house the next morning. My dad picks me up and asks the dumb question, so what'd you think of the game? And I left.
It was okay,
I left your house saying, this team's winning the national championship.
Yeah. I remember that. I think we woke up and actually talked about how they were winning a title.
And I was convinced of that. And then ironically I get your text message when Kendall Marshall gets hurt, and I can't repeat what the exact text was because inappropriate language was used. And
we were young and in middle school at that time where we thought it was cool to curse.
And we still curse today.
Now we just don't think it's cool. It's just everyday part of the language.
But, probably, and I guess we'll debate this, is that
right.
Some people think that's Roy Williams' best team that didn't win the title. I still think 07-08
is bold.
It's bold. Is there. But, that was...
So you're giving stuff away already. We're supposed to wait to give stuff away.
My problem with that loss more than anything, more than any part of losing in that year, was that it was to freaking Kansas.
Yeah, that was supposed to be our revenge game against them. And we looked at that game when it was in the bracket and we were like, yes, we're going to beat them this time. And then Creighton was like, no, you're not.
So.
And Ohio almost said, no, you're not. So, but yeah, look at that team, dude. That was Tyler Zeller's senior year. We have to do another discussion on this podcast. Most underrated Tar Heel basketball players of all time. Is Tyler Zeller not on that list? Because I feel like no one respects him when it comes to great Carolina bigs. He is legitimately one of the best guys to ever play center at Carolina.
If he's not on that, he's on definitely the underappreciated list.
Okay, we could do underappreciated. I actually like that phrasing a little bit better. Because, dude, no one talks about him ever. And he was, that year, look, 16.3, 9.6. Really good. You had John Henson, 9.9 rebounds per game, not as efficient from the field, 13.7 points. And then, of course, you had Reggie Bullock and Kendall Marshall. Kendall Marshall averaged 9.8 assists that year.
He averaged more assists than points.
Yes. Very, very shocking. One thing, about that team, okay, we talk about them offensively. They were so ridiculously good defensively. Opponents shot 39.4% from the field against them.
Well, that was probably
the whole year.
The length inside.
Henson really bothered people a lot.
The height inside, the length on the perimeter. From, you got to think, Dexter Strickland.
Yes.
Reggie Bullock's on that team.
Strickland, another one that I'm not going to say maybe a little underappreciated. Such a good defender.
Barnes, for as much flack as we gave him, was a very good defender.
Remember, he was the defensive specialist in Golden State. Literally the only guy that played defense on that team.
So that was a team that played a little bit more in the half court on offense.
Right.
But they were suited to not have to score 95 to win every night.
Right. They did not shoot well. 45.9% from the field, but you average 41.9 rebounds per game too as well. You're going to be fine.
That was the team that made me fall in love with rebounding.
So there you go. 2015-16. Do I even have to talk about this team? Can we just 33-7, 14-4, first in the ACC. You know what happens in the final. I'm still sick to my stomach from this game.
That was.
Here's. Okay. As Bailey, your dog, makes some strange noise, that scared me for a second. Bryce Johnson, senior year. I mean, you want to talk about just ridiculous numbers. This guy averaged 18.2 points per game and 10.4 rebounds. I think the rebounding statistic is just sickening. Now, when you have 23 rebounds in a game against Florida State.
He had a 30 and 20 on the road.
39-23. 39-23.
I mean,
still know that stat line. That's probably going to be my pin number at the bank here soon. 39-23, you know? What a legend. Don't hack my bank account, people.
That year was fun because you and I had a lot of arguments because I entered the year thinking this is the best team in the country, and we lose games that we lost that year. Lost at Northern Iowa.
I was very angry that year as well at that team at times because I knew they were so talented, and I just
we had the home loss to Duke where Joel Berry's shot gets blocked. I mean, we had some losses that you just
still didn't like that shot attempt to this day.
Whenever we would get into discussions, as you know, you question, is this team really the best team? And ultimately, they weren't because they didn't win the national championship. I think they proved you right in the sense that they made the Final Four. They made the final game.
Yeah.
They came back from 10 down in less than 4 minutes in the final.
Right. Unpopular opinion, I do think now they were the best team in the country that year. And I don't care that they lost the final. They were better than that team. That team was just better on that night.
It was just that was a game where we're sitting there together.
Oh,
Paige hits the shot. The immediate reaction is this game's going to overtime. There's no way in hell we lose after.
Can we tell people what actually happened as well when Paige hits the shot? So we are in the bedroom watching the game.
That came out extremely wrong.
Full stance.
Oh, we were in full game mode.
Full Roy Crouch stance. Lucky jersey and everything. The Theo jersey, which at that time fit, now does not fit. That was a small jersey that I got for a discounted price. Now, if I put that jersey on, it would literally rip down the middle because I am gigantic compared to what I was then. So he hits the shot. We both jump up in the air and just freak. I mean, this is like, okay, we're in a room with probably an 8-foot ceiling. Literally probably come about a foot from hitting the ceiling. Hit the ground. Something falls off the top of the dresser that was in the room. So we had items misplaced. This is how big this shot was. Laying face down on the floor, not even screaming or yelling or anything, just in disbelief. We stand up and we both say to each other, we're going to overtime. And then we didn't. That's where we're going to end, right there. We didn't. Can we move on? Because I'm starting to cry already.
I'll say this, and we'll move on. If your dad doesn't open the door to complain about,
he was very angry.
Then the game goes to overtime and we win the national championship.
I don't know about that.
If he doesn't open the door,
so you're saying that he inspired he who shall not be named,
yes,
to hit the shot?
He was so angry that we had disrupted his Monday night for 2.5 hours of blatant yelling.
I think that he thought, I'm going to be real honest, when the thing fell through, because when we jumped, it made a loud sound as well. I honestly think that he thought one of us went through the floor. I really do think that was what he was thinking in that moment as a homeowner, which is not good. You never want your house damaged like that. But it's true. 2018-19. Now, I was kind of the one that convinced you to put this on the list, but here's why. 29-7, okay. 16-2 in conference. Best conference record that they've had.
And that's why I ultimately put them on there.
Right.
You went 16-2 in the toughest, deepest conference in the country with a freshman at point guard.
Right.
We still had questions inside. We lost our 2 senior leaders from the year before, literally the heart and soul of the program the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say this with quotations around this. This team wasn't good in December.
No, they were very – okay. We all saw the Louisville game, and we were all thinking the same thing at that time. Let's just make the tournament, win in the first round.
And so
keep that streak alive. That was where we all were at. If you're saying you weren't, you're lying. You're lying to yourself.
So this is probably a team that when we best coaching job or overachieved, it's this team.
Yes, best coaching job probably the top candidate off the top of my head. I mean,
It's
again, I
either
would
this
have to go
five-
back and look.
It's either this year for him or 05, 06.
Yes.
And it's those 2 years. But yeah, this was just a team that and this, I think it's our first year covering the team, game in, game out on the podcast.
Covering is a loose term because we don't actually have media passes. So,
Well-
but continue.
You know what I mean.
I've gotten in trouble for saying this on local media airwaves when I was on talking about Tar Heel football. I was told I was not allowed to say covers because I technically don't have a media pass. But okay, that's the only reason I say that.
First year reporting on what this team is doing.
Boom.
Night in, night out. So it was a lot of fun for us individually.
Oh, definitely.
Didn't get the tournament result we wanted. Hell of a ride. Had a lot of fun. Definitely one of our more fun years being a Tar Heel fan. When you lose in March, it's never fun. So that's what it was.
It shouldn't be fun.
So
yeah, Cam, ridiculous as we know. Kobe, Luke, Nazir, not as great as many expected, but still very good. Again, here's the stat that I circled immediately when I looked at this.
Rebounding margin.
The
plus
rebounding
11.
margin was almost. It's like 10.3. That is.
All right, math wizard.
There we go. That's ridiculous, especially considering what was one of our biggest concerns coming into the year. Would we be able to rebound with undersized bigs? Luke May, Garrison Brooks, and Sterling Manley not being healthy for a portion of the season. If you would have told me that, I would have looked at you and said, plus 10 and change? Not a chance. Here's the thing. Rebounds per game, they average 44.1 a game, which I think, if I remember from looking at all the other numbers, is the best of any of the teams on the list.
They
were monsters.
They were number one in rebounding.
I'm saying on this list of even all the teams historically, too. Very good.
This was a team that I think, after the Louisville loss, knew what they had to do if they wanted to win at the level they wanted to win.
Right.
Bought into more of the coaching. And just really, I mean, we talk about watching teams improve from day one to their final product. We really watched Kobe White improve at everything. We saw Cam Johnson become a complete player. Got him as a lottery pick in this past year's draft. So this was just a team that was really fun to watch. And then you look at the wins. You beat Duke at home. Or no, you win in Cameron, which entering the game was a top 10 matchup we were not given a chance to win.
Yes.
You beat Duke at home on senior night. That's always fun.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of memories. You just didn't get the results you wanted. They did a lot of things good. They shot the ball from three as good as they have in this decade.
Yes,
They
definitely.
rebounded at a really good level. We saw them grow majorly on the defensive end after the Louisville loss.
Couldn't have gotten much worse than that.
With all that said,
okay. So can we pick our teams that we think are like legitimate contenders here? Because okay.
Do you not have your team? Because
No, I've got my team. I'm just saying I want to say which ones I think are in the conversation, because I have four that are, in my mind, the four, those are the four that I had to debate in my mind between.
So I'll go first because it's my podcast. And that's how this
That is not how it was supposed to work in pre-production, but I guess we're off the rails anyways, so go ahead.
I go 84.
Yep.
I go 98.
Wow.
I go 08.
Wow.
And then I go 12.
Okay, so I have three of those. I go 84, I go 87, and I go 08 and 12.
The reason why I don't have 87, although they did go undefeated in ACC play, and also they did go further than 84. Kenny Smith was hurt, so I'm not a guy to say we have an excuse, but you have that factors in.
Okay.
And also that team wasn't as gifted as some of these other teams that, in just terms of talent, that didn't win a national championship. It's kind of hard to say that when they went undefeated in ACC play, but
right.
So that's why I left them off. I look at that 98 squad. Let me scroll down here to. Hang on. No, you don't.
I don't have 98. I do not have
98 on there.
So Antoine would have been a junior. Shammond Williams is a senior. Vince Carter a junior. That was also Rashid's freshman year, right? And then Ed Coda's sophomore.
No, Sheed's